What's up? It's the boy producer, and today I want to talk to you about getting your music on standard, right? So here's the thing. I've watched a lot of videos over the years, you know, and kudos to people like Dave Pensado, you know, Fab Buffont. These guys actually show you how, if you really pay attention, how they get their music to be on that song, you know, that big fat song, that mega low end and that stuff, regardless of the genre. But I will tell you this, guys, most of the Grammy engineers will not tell you exactly how they get the music on that level. Like for example, mastering. A lot of beginning engineers like to ask, how do you get the stuff so loud, and what do you do to get the loudness, how do you get the bass? And they'll tell you, oh, I use compression, or I use tape plugin. But they're really not telling you, okay, I EQ'd the drums in the mix, I added some saturation to give it some oomph, and then I added this and that on the mix. But they won't tell you that because personally I think they work hard to kind of craft it, and I don't know why you're not sharing, because I think it's not to copy settings, right? Pay attention to this, guys. It's not to copy settings. It's to know the reason why they made certain decision in setting a compressor to maybe a 2-to-1 ratio and slightly knocking off some DVD, or the reason why they're boosting 8 dB of 50 kilohertz. You know, it's to learn that concept. Because if you copy all the settings, like for example, all the videos I do on YouTube, if you copy all like settings, all that settings might not work on your mix, so it might mess up your mix. And while it worked for mine, it's the concept of listening. So, but I want to tell you this, guys. They won't tell you these things, so try not to say, "Oh, you're looking." I used to look all over the place until I recently discovered it's actually in the mixing process to get the music big and fat. It doesn't matter if you're using a cheap plugin. It's how you mix it. So don't let them tell you, oh, it depends on the recording, the guitar needs to be well amped up, preamp. That's good, but if you listen to all these tracks we're doing on YouTube, all of them sound like we're in a big studio, and this studio here is not like a big gigantic Ocean Records studio, but yet we're getting the international sound. So you can take your plugins, your cheap, I won't say cheap, but you know, your basic plugins like the M1 synthesizer, and you can parallel compress those things. It boosts this frequency that needs to be boosted to get these big mix. For example, this track right here, this hip hop track, track B. Let's bring it back. Most of the time I use small plugs, right? And you might say, Ray, but all that stuff is already fat. You know, what I'm using here is, for example, I have the ear from Expand, and I'm using small little things, maybe like a sample drum. So it doesn't matter what I use, guys. It's good to use nice expensive plugs, but it's hard to get a song, right? Even for the 808, right? The 808 comes from a plugin. And I'll show you how you can make make stuff like 808 even bigger. I'm running it through a guitar amp, by the way. Give it that car trunk sound, you know, like you're rolling down the street, like, man, yeah, my 808 is popping in my car. That's how it sounded before the guitar amp. So if I'm adding the guitar pedal, it gives you more oomph. And I will tell you this, guys, one key element in today's modern mixing is parallel compression. A lot of Grammy engineers says this. It's hard to get your mix big and fat without parallel compression. There are some times when I already maybe use a kick drum for a trap beat and it's already beefed up, like pre-processed. It has the big subwoofer on it. Then you don't have to parallel compress the kick drum. But most of the time, whatever is pop, R&B, reggae, especially soca, and the mix is sounding nice, balanced, but it's not fat like the international artists, then take a look on your parallel compression. Parallel compression, the whole drum kit. One trick that Jason Joshua used, and I use it from time to time, is, and since I'm bringing this up, I'll tell you this. There are, in my view, 3 elements that will guarantee getting your mix big and fat like the pros. Now you got to make sure EQ and get it all balanced first to make it sound tonal and have clarity. But to get that big bass song without boosting a lot of bass, overdoing, is first of all EQ. If the kick drum sounds like it needs more bass, then boost 7, 8, 12 dB on 50 kilohertz. What are you afraid of? And also use harmonic plugs. For example, the R bass, max bass. Put that on some bass or some kick drums. You'll find that, man, it'll save you a lot. Use tape plugins if harmonic stuff is not working. And so EQ, harmonic plugins, tape saturation, whatever, and parallel compression. And also, if you're parallel compressing, let's say a kick drum, and all of it is coming out of a drum bus, then even parallel compress the entire drum kit to give it more oomph if it's needed. Sometimes you can't just stay on level 1, and that's one of the tricks Jason Joshua used. And also you can side chain, like for example this kick drum right here. A lot of producers struggle with this. How do you get the kick drum to be popping while the 808 is climbing, right? So you want to hear the 808 and want to hear that big kick drum oomph, right? So all I simply did is let's see what I did here. I think I side chained. Alright, that's EQ. Let's see what I did here. Okay, here's what I did. I used a C6, right, multi-band compressor, and I'm knocking out about 225 kilohertz just to control it. And on the kick drum, that's to make room for the kick, guys. That's a very vital thing you might not know. And on the kick drum, I'm not taking out anything. I'm just rolling off about 36. And what you can also do is you can take out a little bit of 110. Don't mess around with the 60, 70 kilohertz unless the kick drum is troubling in that area. There's too much. Take out a little bit of 110 and you balance the bass and the kick drum just fine. But these guys won't tell you that. Right? So yeah, I just want to share that with you guys. Us as producers here, I've started out in the bedroom like most of you guys, so I'm a living proof that you can make it big. Just keep on practicing and knowing your techniques and using your ear to guide you, because you can go crazy with all this stuff and overdo, and your stuff sounds way too muffled. So to get a song like this, it takes years of practice. I've been doing this thing for about almost 12, 13 years, and it's just about a year ago I've kind of arrived in getting the stuff up at that level. So just want to share with you guys, and I big up all you artists in Belize, big up producers around the world, the one that's also in the bedroom, starting in the bedroom setting, and let's support one another and share all the information so we can become better engineers, guys.